Hello Gemini, welcome to my channel. My name is Xabe, the Gemini Witch. It is such a pleasure to have you guys here with me today. Gemini, I did a whole 40-minute video and my microphone went off 2 minutes in. But just to, kind of reiterate what the reading was about. Well, Gemini, it looks like there's some sort of envy happening, but who cares, right? People are looking at you and they're wondering what the heck is going on with Gemini. How is it that Gemini is thriving? How are they paying their bills? Who are they with, right? They're watching you like if you're some sort of a freaking series on Netflix or something, right? And they're watching to see what's next, right? What's going to be the grand finale, right? But that's neither here nor there. There's also a message here about your purpose and abundance, right? Your purpose is what is going to bring in this abundance. It was basically saying your purpose is tied to you bringing some sort of healing to people, okay? Or just some sort of balancing, right? Like helping people balance something out, balance themselves out, maybe you bringing some sort of balance maybe to some sort of corporation or something here about you fixing something, right? And you being fully equipped to do so. There was also something in the reading about you feeling like you're not good enough, and Spirit saying that you are good enough. The Magician popped out, and when the Magician pops up, that's not just a card of manifesting, but that's a card of being fully equipped. And that what was keeping you behind was the other people, right? Because they saw your potential. They see that you're supposed to grow, right? That you have something that is supposed to be meant for you, and that it either intimidated them somehow, or that they just felt like if you grew, you would leave them behind somehow, right? And I gave the example of my potted plant. It got to the point where when I bought my plant, it was cute, it was nice, it was tiny, right? But then she started growing, and eventually she just stopped growing. And I wasn't going to take that plant and just throw her away. No, I repotted her into a bigger and newer environment. There's something here about your abundance being tied to you growing and you stepping out of environments that are not serving you, and stepping away from people who clearly see your potential and are intimidated by it. And I also gave the example of my daughter, which is 22 years old, how she started going to the gym. And I have been in this just battling with my health and financial issues and things of that nature for the past, for a while now. But if I were to look at her and say, oh my God, I envy her, instead of looking at her and saying, I admire her, it's like people need to be really careful with that, because you can look at someone and say, oh, I envy what they have, but you don't realize what they've gone through and the decisions that they have made for themselves to get themselves to where they are today. So, I could easily just project all of my crap onto her and be like, oh, whatever, but that would be horrible, first of all. And secondly, when you truly love someone and care about someone, you look at their growth and you see it as something wonderful, amazing. And there's something here about people seeing your growth, and instead of them growing with you, they try to keep you down, try to keep you in your head, try to keep you stuck, and it being borderline abusive. Okay, Gemini? So it's about switching your environment, because, unfortunately, people are not going to stay the same. We're here to evolve. We're here to grow, right? We do outgrow our certain environments, certain people, right? Certain circumstances. And that's what this life is about. It's about growing, right? But I'm going to do another reading because I refuse to just throw that reading away. And I feel like that was a very important message that some of you needed to hear, okay? And there was something also about you kind of having to go back to the drawing board and not feeling bad about it, where it's like you feel like you're having to start over with something again. The Page of Wands came up. The Page of Wands is about being eager, being excited, kind of having like that new excitement about something, but also knowing that you're still kind of like learning, right? We're never fully done learning, you know, but also being enthusiastic again about whatever it is that you need to do, right? Kind of going back to the drawing board and redoing something over, not reinventing the wheel, but kind of like doing something over again, right? But being excited for the outcome, okay? Not feeling like, oh, here we go again, now I have to do this all over again, right? But just knowing like, you know what, I get another opportunity. I get the opportunity to do this again, and this time around I'm gonna do it enthusiastically, okay? There was also something here about what you had gone through, right? There was so many tower moments, and I keep hearing astrologers say that the Gemini, one of the signs, right? Because I know Sagittarius is in there, and I forget who else is in there. I think Virgo. Anyways, but there's a few signs that they went through like a 15-year, basically like a karmic freaking, you know, cycle for the past 15 years. But this has been spirit breaking cycles, right? Helping you pay some sort of karmic debt. And that's over. That's done and over with, right? Something here about the planets and the moon and the way that it aligns. I'm not an astrologer, but maybe in the future I will be, because I know that that's very important when it comes to, you know, reading. And it does help a lot. But that cycle is over and done with. Now you're stepping into some sort of an abundant era, an abundant time now, okay? And again, like people wanting to hold you back because they feel like you're either outgrowing them or you're just like leaving them behind, you know, or I don't know, there's something here about people just envying you for the energy that you bring. There was also I was getting like people saying things like, oh, your ships have sailed, or maybe it's either like you're too old, or, you know, like you can't do that again, or you shouldn't do that again. It's like chains, you know, people just like wanting to keep you down because they're afraid that if you step into this purpose that you have, that they're not going to have access to you anymore. Okay, right, growth and purpose. There we go again. Okay, so I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness and purpose. I know what I am here to do. So you're stepping into this like energy here, self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So spirit's, you know, telling you that you're growing and that you're walking in your purpose now. And you have these gifts, right? I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So you have gifts that you can share with the world, okay? So there's something here about your self-esteem. There's a new beginning here with the Fool card, like jumping in and just taking that leap of faith, right? This is a brand new energy. Closing your eyes and saying, I may not know what's on the other side of this, but whatever it is, I know that it's a good thing. The Six of Swords. This is spirit leading you out of a situation, right? And I'm getting this song by Hillsong. What is it? The song called? It's called Oceans by Hillsong. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters, wherever you may call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, where my faith could be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. So you're being led out of a situation because there's a new beginning that is happening for you here, okay? Something that is going to help you feel like you have finally found your purpose because you have grown, you have graduated so many lessons, and this is going to help you with your self-esteem, okay? All right, what else? the Ace of Pentacles, but that was in reverse. And then the Four of Wands, it's about community. Okay, so why is this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Spirit? You're not taking action when it comes to something brand new. Oh, that's right. In the other reading, there was also the Seven of Cups. So that's about choices and having to narrow down a choice. It's like, don't try to, it spoke about like, see the bigger picture, right? So you got way too much going on in your mind in terms of what should I choose, which way should I go, right? Maybe like feeling like there's just too many roads ahead of you and you don't know which way to go, and that's stopping you. Spirit wants you to just stop, make a choice, right? Pick one thing and go for that thing, okay? And listen, if it doesn't work out, at least you have one more skill or one more experience under your belt, right? But if it does, then boom, you found your purpose, right? So the Four of Cups here, this could talk about community, right? This could talk about just not wanting to accept some sort of offers that are coming in, and Spirit saying be careful with that, okay? Because there is opportunities here and you might be like negating them, right? What is this Four of Wands? What is this Four of Wands? Hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Healing and toxicity, the devil. So, there's something here that's not working out for you financially, and it's leaving you very like unsatisfied, and there's something about like a community, like find your community, find your people, find those who are going to just, you know, add to you, add value, celebrate you, right? Celebrate your talents. The Four of Swords. You're healing from disappointments, from toxic situations, and that's what is keeping you in this low vibrational state where it's like you think that everyone is going to be the same, or every situation, every experience is just going to be the same toxic cycle over and over again, and you've got your guard up with the Nine of Wands. You've got your guard up because you're like a wounded warrior at this point, right? And Spirit's leading you away from that. You're healing from a very toxic, extremely toxic situation, or situations plural. People just, you know, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, great. It's the same cards that are popping up. Okay. And I did shuffle the cards before I did this reading. So, again, having that same enthusiasm that you had in the beginning of when you first started something here, so that it could bring balance back into your life, because we got the Temperance in the reverse here, and then the King of Cups. Like, having that emotional control, like you have mastered something here. You have mastered some sort of lesson here that has to do with your emotions, right? Keeping your cool, seeing things for what they truly were, right? Or are, and just being like, okay, chill, you know, chill vibes. Yeah, the Chariot, moving forward. You got that same card in the other. I'll tell you the same story that I shared in the previous video. There's a story in the Bible about a man named Lot and his wife, and they lived in a city, Sodom and Gomorrah, that was supposedly like super duper bad, right? And Spirit wanted to come in and just wipe it clean, right? Get rid of it, because there were so many bad things that were happening in that city. And the angels told Lot's wife not to look back. So she did, right? He said, I'm going to set this on fire and I need you to just keep moving forward. Don't look back. She looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. Now, you're probably thinking that's, really weird that, you're like Xabe the Gemini witch and you're talking about the Bible. I grew up very religious, so I know all of these stories and a lot of them are really cool, but that's another topic for discussion when it comes to my beliefs and stuff. But a lot of the stories are very cool, right? It's like, oh wow, and they do impart valuable lessons. But there's something here about you not looking back with the Chariot, right? Moving forward. This is triumphing. Moving forward. Stop looking to the past, okay? What happened in the past, unfortunately, it happened. You're still carrying that with you. I'm not saying that tomorrow you're going to wake up and just like forget about everything. I really wish there was a delete button and we could completely forget all of the bad things that happened to us. But unfortunately, we cannot. And the reason for that is because whatever we've been through in the past, we have grown from it, right? Whether that's now you're an expert on narcissism, or now not to get into a relationship where a person is a mama's boy, or now not to get into a particular job where there's not a solid structure, or corporate or HR, whatever that may be to you. But there's something here about not looking back anymore, moving forward. What's done is done. We cannot go to the past. We cannot change the past. Even if we wanted to, we can't. So taking the lessons and moving forward and knowing that you're ready for this new beginning to come in with the Fool card here, and knowing that Spirit is leading you towards calmer waters here. Okay? What else? Yeah. Well, these same cards, thank you, Spirit, because the same cards are popping up, being in your head. So the limited belief systems, it's in your mind, right? Feeling like, oh, I can't do that. Or that's all fear. Fear means false evidence appearing real. So in this card here, hopefully the glare, I don't know. Hopefully you can see that. So in this card here, there's a city behind her. She's got these 8 swords. And she's got a little puddle here, right? And she's blindfolded, and she's got this like ribbon, or whatever this is, tying her, right? And in her mind, she's thinking, I am at the deepest part of the ocean and I'm gonna drown, right? And that's not the truth. So tarot readers and tarot experts say that this is actually loose enough to where she can let herself free and she could remove that blindfold, right? So it's what's going on is probably a lot scarier in her mind than the actual reality of things, okay? So, Spirit's saying it's not scary. It's not as scary as you think. You've just been through it. You've really gotten your ass kicked here with the Devil card. And that's what toxic relationships do. They make you doubt yourself, right? They make you feel like you're not worthy. They make you feel like, and yeah, maybe they might celebrate you. Oh God, you're so good at this. You're so good at that, right? And it's like they can't, maybe, some people like gas you up and they see your potential, right? But unfortunately, because of how toxic a situation may have been, or an environment may have been, it's been hard for you to move forward and grow and expand, because all of your thoughts are going on, things that are just not beneficial for you. It's like you're extending a lot of energy in something that you're spending a lot of energy into something that is not helping you grow. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's that message. So the 2 of Swords here, what is this 2 of Swords? Making a difficult decision. Making a difficult decision. There's some sort of... Okay, so making a difficult decision because the fear that you have, it's like a subconscious fear that has to do with money, okay? So you're on the fence about something and you feel like, if I make this decision, right, it's like, I'm hearing it's a lot scarier than, like, it's not as scary as you think it is going to be. You know, make the decision. Make the decision. The decision is based on your intuition, right? Seeing through the darkness, being able to see through that darkness, right? Being stuck in your head, the thoughts. But there's the 10 of Pentacles talks about finally being financially stable, finally being able to leave a legacy behind, whatever that may be, finally being able to focus enough to, just set yourself up financially, okay? The 10 of Pentacles, it's like the end all be all when it comes to the finances, okay? So you're on your way there and you're making a very difficult decision here. And the reason why you're making this difficult decision to do this is because you yourself, you know that there is, like, the fog is lifting. I'm hearing the fog is lifting and you're heading towards this 10 of Pentacles. You're heading towards your financial stability, okay? Yeah, so that's what I'm getting there, okay? So let's see here. I also mentioned in my video that I do not encourage cross watchers because, you know, cross watchers, if you're watching this, you might get your feelings hurt. And I also added in there that someone has been watching my videos and they have been, you know, despite me cutting this person off, blocking them, and clearly, like, making it very clear that I don't want to have anything to do with them anymore, they still watch my videos and they still try to reach out to me, you know, somehow, some way. They always find like a loophole, and it feels very uncomfortable feeling like I'm being watched. It's borderline harassment at this point, and I don't need encouragement. I don't need your hoorah. I need for you to respect my boundaries and leave me alone, because I plan on continuing these videos, and the last thing I need is to feel like I'm being watched and, you know, like just stalked, because at this point that's what it feels like. And, you know, again, it's gonna hurt people's feelings. So I do not encourage cross-watching. Mind your business, okay? So the Peacemaker, empathetic communication, harmony, and cooperation. Yeah. And the Destroyer, you're a force of nature, endings, and making space. That's Gemini energy right there. You're a peacemaker, but at the same time, if someone messes with you enough, you're a destroyer. So, you know, you're very empathetic, you know how to communicate, you like harmonious relationships, you like harmonious situations, right? You do tend to cooperate up until someone brings out that side of you, and then you become the destroyer. You become a force of nature, and you end things, and you make space for new energy, right? That's the Gemini energy right there. Like, that's just, you know, the seeker. You're seeking new perspectives, you're pursuing your truth, and you're finding yourself, Gemini. Yeah. So Gemini, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, do all that beautiful jazz, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye, Gemini.